Hi y'all, Innate Illumination, Macy here. So, as I was rewatching a video that I'm about to upload a few hours before the eclipse, um, one that by the time you're watching this has been up for a while, I got a visual because I'll write the description for my channeled messages after rewatching it, or sometimes just from whatever comes up. And a lot of the time, I go into like another trance as if I was channeling the message all over again. Like there's more to that comes with it. So if you have never read any of my channeled message descriptions, yep, that's just a little known fact. But yeah, so I got a visual when I was rewatching the video that I uploaded about dreams and making changes in the current reality that you're in, and it creating ripple effects and waves, and a whole other message came through that I feel like an entire video was needed for it. I got the visual that that this journey is like a series of wormholes, and specifically they're a series of Einstein-Rosen bridges, where, if this isn't something you're familiar with, it's the term, and of course I'm not going to be fully scientific on this. I'm just going to explain my experience of it, and an understanding of it as well, where one end of the wormhole is that of a black hole, and the other end is that of a white hole. A black hole is created from a star or massive object collapsing on itself, creating such a gravitational pull that it's okay, baby. Creating such a gravitational pull that nothing can escape from it. And yeah. And then from that, anything and everything is sucked up into it and then travels out the other side, that being of a white hole. A white hole, nothing can be sucked into it, only things can be emitted from it, including light. And yeah. Hold on one second. And and I got this visual where I feel like at the beginning of my conscious awakening, I experienced in a breathwork meditation. Let me actually just stop right there. I'm going to take a few conscious connected breaths and set the energy, because I did just come in here kind of gun-ho a little bit. May this message be protected for anyone who is not meant to see it, and also Hon Shaze Shonen, 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 Hon Shaze Shonen. And may anyone who's meant to hear it, may they hear it when they are meant to. Okay. Calling in the energy of labradorite for protection, shungite, black obsidian. May my guides be here, may your guides be here, may our guides be here. May my throat be clear and may it come from my heart, my inner compass, my inner fire. And may all of my chakras be included in this message. Calling in the energy of my malachite stone so that I may be a messenger through my ancestors and through my guides. Okay, with that intention being set, I feel like every awakening is like entering inside the far end of the Einstein-Rosen bridge, and that like, yeah, I feel like there's just been this point where you're coming to the event horizon of the black hole and we're getting to this singularity, and this singularity is like, it feels like a lot of pressure is building up. I know a lot of people talk about like the diamond in the rough, and like the diamond only becomes a diamond from immense pressure. This is what I'm talking about, where there's so much pressure being accumulated because we're coming to an event horizon, whether it's your first conscious event horizon or, your umpteenth event horizon. I feel like maybe looking back, even in this lifetime here on Earth, there may have been other event horizons that you're now looking back and being like, okay, yeah, that's what that was. I remember having one in 2017, one in 2011. The first one I consciously went through was in 2020. And even more so, I become more conscious in each one. Conscious and connected with all my bodies and all my timelines and all of that. And yeah, in one of my breathwork meditations, I got this visual of me in between a black hole and a white hole. And I was in the middle. And I felt myself moving more towards the black hole, and I had certain feelings about that at the time, and moving through those feelings of like, there is no right or wrong, whether you're pulled one way or the other, that it's a journey of integrating both, and that at one point you pass through the event horizon and come out the other side. And my experience of this is when people talk about the Mandela effect or multiple timelines or, things like that, like how I mentioned in a previous video, like Loki, being the master of time, the god of mischief, master of time. It's almost as if his black hole singularity was to actually go out. Confirmation verb. Is to go out and do what was seemingly impossible, and not wear the protective suit, and understand that he is a god, and even though he was depicted in a specific way to be a god of something specific, he broke down all of those barriers and all of those stories that were told of himself, that even in a way others told him he was. And I feel like we're all breaking down the story of who we were, who we thought we were, what we built out of protection from our childhood, or what others told us we were, what we were taught in school to be, or what our parents told us to be, or whatever that was. We're in the age of Aquarius for a reason, and it started in Pluto, in the underworld, the planet of the Lord of the Underworld, for a reason, because we are meant to break down the barriers of who we thought we were and literally shed the skin, because this is the year of the snake, y'all. This is a 9 year, this is a year of endings as well as moving into a beginning, and that ending is moving through the event horizon to come out the other side in the white hole. And when I talk about the Mandela effect, I'm talking about there have been multiple timelines that you've already jumped through throughout your life, and that Earth is a series of multiple strings of different wormholes and timelines that everyone is living on one planet. That maybe the timeline that I'm living in may or may not be the same timeline you are, but I have a feeling that if you're watching this video, that you have either moved through the timeline that I'm moving through, that I'm about to be on, like, yeah, or you're on the same timeline as me. Or you will be in a year, or you were a year ago, or whatever. I mentioned in a previous video, the timeline that I'm in right now didn't actually feel in my body quite right. What I actually meant to say was the timeline that I am moving out of, because I can feel this happening, and I have a feeling that, I mean, I know that my event horizon, I feel like I began to get sucked into the black hole back in 2020, and I feel like my event horizon is like on it, it's here. It's basically here. Um, yeah. Uh-huh. So, and I'm entering into another timeline in another dimension. And it may not seem like that because everything physically may seem the same. But say you're moving to a new state, or you're choosing a new job, or you're ending a relationship, or you're leaving a toxic environment. Like, you are quite literally choosing a new timeline. And that by doing that, it is creating a ripple effect not only in this reality, but in all versions of you, and that eventually they're all going to come into one, because you are moving through wormhole after wormhole to come back to the singularity of your true timeline. And so I was talking to someone who was like, I don't know about that, when I was talking about how, okay, something just randomly moved in here. I was talking about how I feel as if we're living in a black hole, in a white hole that was sucked in by a black hole, but basically that same theory. Those are as I see 1313, which I feel like is the end. It's the end of something. It's past the 12th zodiac, which is exactly what we're moving through right now. It's exactly what we're moving through right now. This is such a flow of consciousness. I don't have my notebook with me or anything. I know that the 13th and even the 14th zodiacs exist, and I feel like they exist in timelines that are happening and coexisting with others, as well as eventually the others won't be others anymore. Like, words have a way of sometimes separating, and I just want to keep that very fluid and keep that very, just keep that very fluid. Where, I feel like Neptune, the planet that rules Pisces, the planet that is currently in Pisces in the very last degrees. I don't have my phone with me, but I know that it is very much at the last degrees. Last time I checked, it was like 29 degrees, 54 minutes. And I mean, now I'm nerding out and like really want to go see. Because I know, actually, I feel like we're already in eclipse energy, at least where I am at on the Earth. And the max is happening in about 4 hours. So like, we're already in it. Okay, anyway. It's like this eclipse energy I'm already feeling, and I feel like maybe even since I'm hearing like 2020, 2021, 2022, you've been feeling this white hole energy. You've been feeling the other timeline, even if it's not, even if it hadn't or hasn't made itself like known, present, or physically manifest. Um, yeah, I'm getting a lot of this energy right now where it's very like, because we're in it. Yeah, so Neptune being the last zodiac, um, and we're moving into Aries. And the thing is, I'm also getting this feeling that, like, okay, because Neptune is the last zodiac and Aries is the first zodiac, like, we're, having a rebirth. We're like literally a crone in our previous timelines, and we're being reborn as a baby crawling and even crying, like not even knowing how to crawl yet, in this new energy. So be forgiving with yourself, like I've said in past videos. Yeah, with this new energy, and see it through the eyes of a child, that everything's an adventure, everything's something to discover. I just watched Moana 2 tonight, like, just that same energy where she feels like she's going to do something wrong. She doesn't quite know the way, but that's the point of it. You're not supposed to know the way. And seeing it through the eyes of a child, like an adventure, like everything is something new to learn. That every sun that rises every single day is a new one, and it's so exciting. And that the white butterfly that I saw out today was so beautiful. Like I had seen it for the first time. Confirmation burp. And yeah, see it through the eyes of a child, that you may not know the way, but that's the fun of it. Like I came to watch some family members' pets, and so I'm not in the place that I normally reside, and I knew that I would have to scavenge and kind of see what kind of foods I would be eating, and I had so much fun doing that. Like, Macy 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago would have stressed over something like that, but my perspective has changed so much in regard to the unknown that it is so exciting to me, because I trust myself. Because I trust myself to, over the last few years, I've been learning how to regulate my nervous system. So when I'm faced with something unknown, it doesn't trigger something from the past when something was unknown and I felt like I had to protect myself or put up walls or whatever. And those parts of myself are falling away. And as I move through this Einstein-Rosen bridge, and I experienced the event horizon, in the past, it was so scary, yet I always was able to get through it. And now that I have consciously come to that understanding and seeing it in multiple past timelines in all my life, even just here on Earth, I can trust that I'm going to get through this one. And yeah. So this wormhole, you might be, at this kind of wide opening going towards the black hole, and the pressure may build, or it may be like we are at the brink of it, where the singularity is the gift. And I feel like moving through this singularity, not everyone and not everything comes with you. Like physical items, I'm hearing too. Habits, people, places, environments. And the thing is that because you're still here physically on Earth, you can move through this white hole. And I'm hearing the song, what is it? It's I need to look it up on my Spotify. It's I know I'm getting the Addison Regler from The Voice saying it. Humble and Kind. Mm-hmm. Always stay humble and kind. It's like the last few words of that song. And when you get where you're going, turn back around. I know that I don't have those lyrics perfect, but I imagine like someone just climbed up this mountain and there's still people behind this person. There's still going to be people behind me once I move through this singularity and into this new timeline. And because the beauty of the earth is that we're living through multiple weaving wormholes and timelines, we can physically see other people who are living in another timeline as ours, and they're reaching back from the top of the mountain or even just a step ahead of us, and they're pulling us up with them. And or we may be the person who are being pulled up. So instead of comparing one another, as I see 2122, instead of comparing one another and comparing our experiences, as I also see 144, comparison is the thief of joy. And instead, when we get where we're going, don't forget to turn back around. And if someone's reaching for you, be open. Be open to receiving their help. Be open to receiving that love. And being open to receiving starts with receiving that love from yourself. Looking in the mirror and being like, you're freaking beautiful. Look at you. Look at your little wispies. Oh my gosh, you're so freaking hot. No makeup and you still look that good, babe. That kind of love, okay? And if it feels foreign initially, that's okay. That's okay. But yeah, when you get where you're going, don't forget to turn back around. Because if there are parts of you, and I remember when I first came back into my body and I was getting into singing bowls and crystals and solfeggio frequencies and keeping a high vibration, when I was seeing others that were using Glade plugins or using toxic chemicals or, having bad habits and things like that, at first I was completely repelled by that and didn't want to be near any of it. And of course, yes, that also came with building healthy boundaries and also choosing to remove myself from those situations. At the same time, I felt like a lot of that was a lesson for me in the process of not being able to control my environment, to accept that it is not my job to change people. It is not my job to it is not my job to interfere with other people's timelines. It is only in my control to live my life, and in turn, as I live on the other side of this timeline, I will attract through the black hole people who are willing and open and available to move through that singularity so they meet me on the other end. It is not by me moving backwards in order to get them, because it's only a hindrance to not just me, but their timeline as well. And just know that just because I'm on this side and they're on that side, there's no separation between the two, and that eventually I'm going to move through another black hole. I'm not always just going to sit on the outside of this white hole. So, no one's higher or lower or better or on a pedestal than anyone else. We are literally at all just different versions of just this journey. And confirmation verb. So, Spirit, is there anything else? Yeah, that's really it. That was the visual that I got, and thank you, Spirit, for this message. I feel complete in my thoughts. So, yeah, you're worth it. You got this. You are love embodied. You are love in a human body. It begins with you, and then it can be moved outwards. And, I love you. You are supported. If you need support moving through this, I offer astrological breathwork. The only open availability I have right now is through 30-minute connection calls. And if you want to book a one-on-one astrological session, I will open back up my schedule and we can set up a time. So yeah, free 30-minute connection calls. You just book it, let me know. We can talk about what you're moving through, and yeah, I can get your natal birth chart info, and we can move through not only your personal astrological aspects. I only focus on what's currently relevant and in your current frame of consciousness, as well as what's currently going on. And man, is there a lot going on right now. So we can tie both of that together and integrate and move through whatever you're meant to integrate and move through at this time. So again, I'll leave the link below for my landing page. Again, only my 30-minute connection calls are available. They are free. And then if you want to move further and book a one-on-one astrological breathwork session with me, I will open my schedule back up again and we'll go from there. Much love, y'all. Until next time.